Clemson quarterback Trevor Lawrence is the face of the 2021 NFL draft. He has been for about 2 years now, and he looks like a near lock to go number one. The 6'6", 220-pound quarterback was anointed as the chosen one back in January 2019 when the then freshman led Clemson to a national title game win over Alabama. Since that day, it's basically been written in stone that this dude is going to be the top pick of the 2021 draft, and his final career mark of 90 touchdowns to 17 interceptions hasn't really done anything to change people's minds. Lawrence is the most lauded, widely hyped prospect coming into the NFL since Andrew Luck, and some people might say that's underselling it. So the big question is Lawrence worth all this hype? The longer, more nuanced, and slightly hedged answer to that question is that we probably won't know for a couple of years. He's unlikely to completely blow the doors off the league in 2021, and like most rookies, he's going to have his ups and downs. The shorter, more definitive answer, though, is yeah, I do think he is worth all the hype. Lawrence has pretty much every trait NFL teams are looking for in a quarterback. He's tall, very athletic, has a big arm, and he's advanced as a processor playing from the pocket. He shows a veteran savvy in his ability to pick apart a blitz, go through his reads, and maneuver in the pocket. He has a quick whip-like release, and he's accurate throwing to all three levels of the field. He can toggle through his different velocities, throwing a laser on one play and then feathering a touch pass on the next. And he can throw off platform going to either direction. In addition to everything this guy can do with his arm, Lawrence fits the mold as a modern NFL quarterback who can make defenses pay with his legs. One example, despite struggling as a passer in Clemson's college football playoffs win over Ohio State in 2019, the dude rushed 16 times for 107 yards and a touchdown, providing that offense a boost they really needed. Another example, in the Tigers' ACC championship game win over Notre Dame this season, he carried the ball 14 times for 90 yards and a touchdown. He may have a slim, gangly looking frame, but this dude is legitimately fast, and that makes him very difficult to contain. He's tough as nails and fearless on the field, he's poised in the pocket, and he always keeps an even keel as a leader. He never really lets his emotions get the best of him. All of that combined makes Lawrence a truly rare prospect, one who has all the tools to excel at the next level. Now, there are obviously a few areas in which Lawrence will need to continue to improve when he gets to the NFL. His ball location on deep passes down the sideline can be a little bit hit or miss at times. On occasion, he'll leave the ball a little bit short or put it on the inside shoulder when it needs to be on the outside, things like that. In the NFL, those margins are going to be slimmer, and he's going to have to be more precise. But overall, prospects like Lawrence don't come by very often, and I cannot wait to see what he does in the pros. I'm not going out on a limb here when I say that I think he's going to be a star. In any other draft class, or at least one that didn't include Trevor Lawrence, we probably would have spent the last few months talking about Justin Fields as a potential top overall pick and the guy that Jets and Jaguars were tanking for. In fact, even though Trevor Lawrence is almost surely going to go number one, there's probably a handful of teams that have this guy Justin Fields rated higher on their boards. That's especially true after watching Fields pick apart the Clemson's defense to the tune of 6 touchdowns in the college football playoffs this year. Like Lawrence, the Ohio State star has all the tools to become an outstanding pro. He's basically a prototype of modern NFL quarterback. He's got a big, well-built frame, a powerful, accurate arm, and Cam Newton-like talent as a runner. With all that in mind, here's the question. Is there any chance that Justin Fields ends up being the best quarterback in this class? I think the answer is yes, there absolutely is a chance. For starters, Fields has an incredible arm. He can throw a frozen rope on deep outs and downfield bombs. He can fit a pass into a tight window on the second and third levels, and he's completely comfortable throwing on the move. Bottom line, he can hit any throw, and he finished his college career with a 67-9 touchdown to interception ratio at Ohio State. Fields has more than just a strong arm, though. He's highly accurate, whether he's throwing from the pocket or running outside on a bootleg to either direction. Third, he's tough as hell. That was never more apparent than in that aforementioned win over Clemson in the college football playoffs when he took a brutal hit to the side, and not only did he return to the game, but he came back to throw 4 more touchdown passes in the win. Fourth, he's big and physical. The dude is hard to take down in the pocket, and he regularly shrugs off sack attempts from defenders. And he's a force as a runner. He's fast, and he racked up more than 1,100 yards and 19 touchdowns in his college career on the ground. Fifth, he's patient and calm. He'll sit there in the pocket, he'll stare down the gun barrel and make a throw even with his pass rusher bearing down on him, and he won't even blink. That last point, though, that does bring me to something that he'll need to improve on at the next level. Fields has a bad habit of stopping his feet in the pocket, and there's times where the pressure will come and he just won't move, and that leads to a few too many unnecessary sacks. There are also times where he locks onto a predetermined pre-snap read, and when that read doesn't immediately come open, things kind of fall apart. He needs to learn to go through his reads and keep his head moving. There are also times where Fields just tries to do a little bit too much. That was pretty apparent against Indiana when he threw 2 kind of desperation picks with guys draped all over his shoulder. He'll have to learn that sometimes it's better just to take the sack and live to play another down. All in all, though, the good far outweighs the bad with this guy's tape, and I think he has the skill set to become a star. He's highly competitive, he's tough as nails, and he's been lauded for his leadership skills. Fields may not go first, but the team that picks him is going to get a potential franchise-changing player. Quarterback Zach Wilson was the biggest riser of the past college season, vaulting from relative obscurity into household name status with a massive year for BYU. The junior playmaker is now squarely in the top 5 discussion after posting an absurd 33 touchdown, 3 interception line for the Cougars. In that campaign, he showed off his live elastic arm and the type of playmaking moxie that drew comparisons ranging from Kyler Murray to Johnny Manziel. Now, Wilson has a pretty legitimate chance to be the second quarterback to come off the board after Trevor Lawrence. Let's dig into why. It all starts with Wilson's arm. He regularly drops rainbow passes down the field like 30 or 40 yards right into his receiver's breadbasket. He's aggressive as a thrower. He rips passes into tight windows and he loves the back shoulder fade. He's not afraid to challenge defenses. He'll toss a sideline bomb on one play and then attack the seams on the next, and he's very accurate on the move. And while some NFL coaches might discourage this, he does have a few Patrick Mahomes-esque, off-platform, crossbody throws in his repertoire. His improvisational skills are going to intrigue teams that want their quarterback to not only make plays from the pocket, but get outside, improvise, and make things happen outside the pocket. He's not especially big, but the dude can scoot, and he scored 10 touchdowns on the ground in 2020. With all that said, there are still a few question marks for Wilson as he heads into the pros. For starters, windows shrink in the pros, and he has to be a little bit better about timing his passes, hit his back foot and get it out. There are times where he's just a little bit late to pass the ball. Along similar lines, there are times where he definitely trusts his arm a little bit too much. The crossbody stuff, the no-look passes are all fun, but he has to make sure that he doesn't get turnovers in the NFL. One more big thing is that he did not face a ton of stiff competition playing for BYU this season. End of the day though, Wilson's combination of deep ball accuracy, playmaking talent, and overall athleticism should make him a lock for the top 10. He might even go as high as number 2, whether to the Jets or another team that trades up into that spot. Regardless of the team, I cannot wait to see where this guy goes because I think he's got a good chance to play from day one. North Dakota State quarterback Trey Lance is one of the most intriguing players at any position in this draft. He's a one-year starter whose tools are sure to captivate NFL scouts and decision makers, but his lack of experience, especially against top-tier competition, is a massive red flag. With just 17 college starts in his career, and all 17 of those coming against FCS teams, he's an enigma. The big question is, of course, is he worthy of a high-end first-round pick? Let's dig into his strengths and weaknesses. For starters, and I know this is a cliche, but I guarantee you teams are putting this into the plus column, the dude is a winner. As a redshirt freshman in 2019, Lance led the powerhouse Bison to a perfect 16-0 record and an FCS national championship. More than that though, he was pretty close to flawless as a passer that year. Lance completed 67% of his passes for 2,700 plus yards, 28 touchdowns, and 0 interceptions. That's right, he did not throw a pick on 287 attempts that year, setting a new all-division NCAA record for most passes without an interception. He notched a 180.6 passer efficiency rating and averaged 9.7 yards per attempt. Those numbers paint the picture of a quarterback who not only can pass the ball downfield with accuracy, but who takes care of the ball and makes good decisions. Lance was also incredibly productive in North Dakota State's running game, adding 1,100 yards and 14 touchdowns on the ground. Put everything about that incredible campaign together, and it's no mystery why NFL teams would want this guy under center. He's got a big frame, 6'4", 226 pounds. He can make defenses pay with his legs, and most importantly, he's got a big, accurate arm. On the other hand, teams are right to be wary about his limited experience. Due to COVID concerns, the FCS canceled its college football season. That obviously hindered Lance's ability to build on his NFL draft resume. He did get to play one showcase game against Central Arkansas, but the results were a little bit mixed. He wasn't quite as sharp as he probably wished he'd been, completing just 15 or 30 passes for 149 yards, 2 touchdowns, and a pick. His only pick in his college football career. But he did show off his rushing ability in that game, adding 15 rushes for 143 yards and 2 scores on the ground. With just one season as a starter under his belt, it really forces teams to look at that skill set and his traits and see if they're moldable at the next level. In that way, Lance reminds me a little bit of Josh Allen and Carson Wentz. In both of those cases, teams were projecting their physical profiles, like their size, their arm, their accuracy, all that stuff, to a higher level of competition and hoping that they could develop these guys into good pro quarterbacks. In Allen's case, the results seem to be really good. With Wentz, the jury's still out. But in any case, there's plenty of precedence for the NFL to take a shot on this guy, potentially even inside the top 10. To me, it seems clear that he has the talent and the skill set that makes him worth betting on.